What's going on, crew? This is going to be your 3-month supine breathing technique. So very straightforward here. Supine just means we're gonna lay on our back. So that's exactly what we're gonna do. So I get on my back. I got a bench here, but if you got a couch, if you got your bed, something to kind of get your legs up on, that works as well. And then I have a yoga block. You can use a pillow, you can use a rolled up towel, more or less something to get your ear holes in line with your shoulder. Reason being is this puts your neck in neutral alignment with the rest of your spine. In addition to that, with having something rested under your head, it turns off the neck muscles. Because sure, I can get rid of the block and I can have myself in this position, but now you see my chin is jutted up. So now in order for me to engage a neutral position, I have to engage my deep neck flexors, which turns my neck on. Kind of defeats the purpose here, especially with something like breathing. That's only going to influence my wanting to use my sort of secondary accessory breathing strategy, which is gonna be a chest and neck strategy, which is not what we wanna do. So I'm in a nice neutral position with my neck, having the yoga block under there. I'm gonna get almost like the creases of my knees supported under the bench, and I just wanna turn my legs off entirely. There should be no tension here. They should just be nice and relaxed so that I'm not active in areas I don't wanna be, okay? So the next thing you want to pay attention to is contact with the low back here. In a lot of instances, the rib cage might be bucked up. So what we want to think about is you want to think about pulling that rib cage down, which is going to connect that low back to the ground here. You can be very gentle. You don't have to be aggressive here, especially if this is something you're just starting out. Think about just gently pulling the rib cage down, and you can even sync it with your breath. So as you inhale, and as you exhale, think about just pulling the rib cage down gently, getting light connection with that low back on the ground so there's no daylight there. And then all I'm doing here is I'm just gonna do that, just breathe. So I'm gonna place one hand on my belly, one hand on my chest, legs are relaxed, neck is relaxed, focusing on nasal breathing, in through my nose, out through my nose, and I wanna pay attention to the quality of my breath. So I created another breath video where I talked about really the specifics that we wanna be paying attention to in terms of quality of the breath, but repeating it here, as I breathe in, I wanna focus on a good belly expansion. That lets me know that I'm using my diaphragm to expand down into my belly, not just out forward, but also laterally in 360 degrees. Really, as I inhale, I should feel gentle pressure increasing from my low back into the ground, right? And that just means that I'm creating circumferential expansion, which is what I want here. So again, one hand on belly, one hand on chest. All I'm doing is a nice relaxed tone. I'm gonna inhale through my nose and exhale through my nose. So you can see through those couple of breaths, I had a belly expansion, and at the very tail end of it, my chest started to expand, which is exactly what we want. We don't want full chest expansion the whole entire time. Okay, we want the diaphragm to expand down into abdominal wall, down into pelvic floor, expanding up into our chest, creating full circumferential expansion. And then as we exhale, right central tendon of the diaphragm ascends back up through the thoracic cavity, back into the start position. Very entry level. You can start doing this 5, 6, 7, 8 breaths. Then you can start implementing time where you're going for about 1, 2, maybe 3 minutes even. This is a very relaxing sort of exercise. The whole point of this really is to downregulate the nervous system into a parasympathetic state, which is your rest, digest, relaxation state. In addition to that, we also want to be aware of the breath awareness, breath cues, and posture. Because we're in a supine position, we're gonna be the most supported here. Gravity is hitting my entire body, right? So my whole entire surface area in contact with the ground is getting it. Versus if I were standing, it would just be my central spine and anything around it, maybe my legs, or if I'm seated down, my hips as well. But being in a supine position, I'm in the most advantageous position. I also have the most feedback from the ground. I can feel where my body is connected and where it's not, and I can make those corrections and adjustments. Versus if I were standing upright in a verticalized position, I don't really have any feedback other than the air around me, which isn't much, right? So my body isn't gonna be able to feel that compared to if I'm lying down here, I have a lot more feedback coming into my body, which my nervous system can pick up. It feels supported, it feels safe, it's able to downregulate and let go and release tension, which is why I feel breath is such a paramount and foundational step. Whether it's rehab, whether it's strengthening, whether you're trying to find and understand pain, it always comes back to breath. right? Because if we're in pain, more than likely our breath is gonna be short, rapid, it's gonna be shallow, we're gonna tense up, it's not gonna be in a flowy sort of state here, which is where we want our breath to be. But the whole premise here in this 3-month supine breathing position is 1, breath quality, right? 2, where am I supported? And 3, what does my posture look like? Am I holding tension in any unnecessary areas? And if I am, use the breath to guide and release that tension and find that ideal posture and position you should be in. Continue to breathe, continue to integrate, and then tie this into when you verticalize yourself back upright and you walk around, can you maintain that position where the ribs are pulled down, you're nice and long through the neck, nice and relaxed? These are things we want to be thinking about, all right? So I hope this made sense for you. If this is a video that you found helpful, be sure to give it a like, subscribe to the channel, all that good stuff, and I'll see you all in the next video.